going on the journey with you. So if it's losing weight, get someone to go to the gym with you. If it's your finances, get someone to actually look at your checkbook register and your budget with you. If it's leadership, you get somebody to support you. You build this group around you. There's also something very cool that our publisher does, and it's kind of something that we put together on behalf of high schools and school boards, because we speak at a lot of these conferences to teachers and superintendents and obviously school board folks, and we wanted to put some tools in your hands. We have Barnes & Noble here, and they're out selling the book at the very end. And everybody is sitting there thinking to themselves, they're like, you're right, Troy, there's probably some places in my life that I could afford to take the stairs a little more often. There's probably some ways I could be a little more disciplined, and their almost immediate ensuing question always makes me laugh. It makes me smile, because I think it's the same question that I would have if I were in your seats hearing this for the first time. And so they always come up to me and they're like, okay, Larry, so let's say that I start doing all this stuff you're talking about. So I start overcoming procrastination, and I'm making the sacrifices, and I'm creating the vision, and I'm leveraging the vision, and I'm being committed, and I'm creating the question, the culture of how, and I'm focusing on progress and not perfection, and I'm doing the things that I don't want to do. How long do I have to do that? And I'm going to share with you the truth. Again, maybe not that we want to hear, but it's the truth that we need to hear. The truth is, we never get to stop being disciplined. As leaders, we never do. Now, that doesn't mean that life is going to be one great big giant trip to the gym, or that for every meal you're only going to eat foliage. What you find is that when you create a desired result in your life, it becomes easier to maintain that as you start to shift your focus to other things. So it doesn't always feel like that, but we never get to stop being disciplined. We never do. And the reason why is because of something that I refer to as the rent axiom. And the rent axiom says this, that success is never owned. Success is only rented. And the rent is due every day. Success is never owned. It's rented, and the rent is due every day. I mean, take out the word success and put in for it whatever matters most to you in your life. Financial security is never owned. It's rented, and the rent is due every day. Great relationships are never owned. They're rented, and the rent is due every day. A great team is never owned. It's rented, and the rent is due every day. A fulfilling spiritual relationship is never owned. It's rented, and the rent is due every day. A happy marriage is never owned. It's rented, and the rent is due every day. The rent is higher for some of you than others on that last one, depending on who you marry. I remember a couple of years ago when I got married, one of my friends, Henry, he said, Rory, let me just give you a little piece of marriage advice, because you need to understand every marriage follows the exact same process. It starts with the engagement ring, then the wedding ring, then the suffering. Funny, not true. Funny, but not true. But the rent axiom is true, that success is never owned, it's rented, and the rent is due every day. And I know, leaders, that sometimes that can strike you as bad, and it is, but I promise that if you embrace that as a truth, then something magical really happens, and that is that our appetites begin to change. Everything starts to change. The way that we think starts to change, and we stop looking for the shortcut. We stop looking for the escalator. We stop looking for the magic pill or the secret potion or the hidden formula. Suddenly we develop the courage to make the tough, difficult decisions, to take the difficult actions that nobody else is willing to take. We start to realize that the things that were once hard to get ourselves to do later become the very things that our bodies crave. The things that were once hard to let go of are no longer even a temptation. But the changes that were once temporary now become permanent, and these permanent actions are reinforced by permanent changes in our thinking. And suddenly, it's like success isn't about these huge, grandiose decisions. It's about the small, seemingly insignificant, nearly invisible, little choices and actions that we make every single day. So the next time you are in front of a set of escalators and some stairs, take the stairs, because success means doing things we don't want. Thank you very much.